Hi guys, welcome back to our video again. So we just bought ourselves a super Tenere, as you can see here, because it's touring season again. So it's a pretty aged machine, so it has a lot of rust all around. What we want to do now is lubricate it and then remove all the accessories that it has on it, and then we probably do a one-time good one maintenance before we can roll this bike out on touring mode again. So you see a lot of rusted screw here and there, so we just give it a very generous amount of lubrication, and then probably we need to tear it down and sand it off. You can see all this bolt are rusting, and then we try to de-rust it later on as much as possible. While we tried to disassemble the pannier, the right side pannier, actually we realized that this thing broke. And then you can see that the hole is missing. So with reference on the other side, it's actually attached by two Torx screw. So what we're trying to do is we try to pick it open and see how it goes. So what we are trying to do now is to open up the bottom. So basically there are multiple screw holes here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4 each side, and then we try to open up the base and then reach in and try to figure out how to unlock from inside. We see it start budging out, so we need to slide out this part here, which is hook, in order to take out the whole bottom. So we took out this part of the clamp, and then now so we took out the rubber cover, and then we also found that two small screw that has dropped out. We got to see what's inside there. Here you can see that the thing is already out of shape. So we try to figure it out from inside. So we tighten this two screw, but not too tight to the extent that the key can't turn. So we have to slowly loosen it and then feel the catch. So now you can see we are able to unlock. Nice. To prevent this from happening again, so what we gotta do is we gotta put some Loctite onto the screw before we securing it, and then cover it with the cover. So we apply some Loctite here, so the vibration will actually loose up the screw in the future. So we remove the pelican box, and then now we gotta remove this hinge that is holding onto it. So we took it out. Okay, we spotted another issue that these two screws are longer, so it doesn't really goes in. This is the maximum it can goes. So we have to find another screw to replace this two. We will also remove this extender deflector because it's in the way to our eyesight, so just remove it when we are not touring. Okay, all we need to do is to loosen this force bolt that is holding it on. So these four bolts are at surface level now, so we can just slide it out. We noticed that the throttle is also stuck. You can see it's not returning back. Initially we thought there's this sponge in between, something like this, in the way, but apparently it seems like the tube is stuck into the bar. So what we need to do now is to remove it and then check out what's wrong. Okay, we might find out the issue because you can see there's a lot of rust inside here. Okay, the mirror are also pretty rusted, so probably we gotta file it down and then respray it. You can see that the corrosion from the mirror is pretty bad. And then this is what it came out, all the loose rust once we open up here. So probably we gotta replace the mirror. So we just use this for the time being until the new one arrives. Okay, so now we loosen the throttle housing. Okay, the cable looks good. Okay, I really think that is the handlebar that is rusty. This part looks okay, a little bit rusty. Probably we have to loop it. And then, yeah, you see all the rust here is accumulating, so it causes all the friction. So probably we have to wash this up. Okay, you can look at how thick the dust is. So we just need to scrape everything off slowly but surely. You can see now after shaving off all the rust, this tube can move really freely, which is the outcome that we want. So now we clean up the whole tube and then we hook the two cable back. Now the throttle is free. So we went to purchase some screws, so we have replaced some of the rusty screw and also make a little adjustment to the handlebar. We're still waiting for the gut screw to be removed out. It's stuck. So right now another area we are trying to remove is this bolt which is stuck. So we have never expected that we are going to use this breaker bar again, and then now it's in good use. Okay, the power of breaker bar, it does work. So we will remove the crash bar. So once we remove the crash bar, we can actually open up the side panel and do some other inspection. So let's break free this. Okay, one up. So here's the nut and we gotta put it back. Okay, so we took this out and then probably we gotta refurbish it. It's a bit rusty, so we have to rust convert it and then probably give it a light coat and then maybe do a wrap. Okay, so now we gotta remove the side panel from both sides before we can lift up the tank to check the air filter inside. Okay, so we open up the fairing. Okay, next we need to remove the seat. As you can see, it's pretty dusty, so we gotta clean this part up also. So need to loosen the tank bolt before we can rotate the tank later on. And now we untap this 4 bolt size 10, which there's 4 of them, 2 on each side. So we just remove all these 4 bolts and we should be able to lift up the tank. Now the tank is loose, you can see we can lift it up. So we will use a bungee cord hook to just hold it in place, but just tape the tape around so to prevent it from scratching the paint. And then we use this bungee cord to lift up the tank by hooking to the rack or whatever anchor point that you have. And then now we have access to the air box and some other components. So now what we gotta do is to remove all this little screw all around the air box to check out the air filter, and hopefully we have a surprise inside. So we got all the nice screw out and then we will open the air box. So we shall open this and see what's inside. Well, it's kind of tough, huh? So we found out that there's this rubber cord here, so you need to take it out. So there's one more screw inside there. Okay, which we need to take it out. And then it's a good news, it's a DMC air filter. These are totally reusable, so we will take it out and wash it. The air filter looks pretty decent. Maybe it's just a little bit dried up, but the real, you can see the top half is a bit black. Okay, as you can see that the air box is pretty dusty, so we just take out the whole air box. At the same time, we can also access to the plug and ignition coil to check them out. We gotta remove all these screws. Also need to unclip the air box sensor. And then we need to also loosen this clamp that is clamped to the throttle body. So now we can pull out the air box. Okay, there's supposed to be a breather hose there, which is this one here. So it's automatically detached. So I guess the clipper is gone. We see that it's quite gummy inside the throttle body. So since we are here, why not we just remove everything, take out the throttle body and wash. To unclip the two overflow clip, the fuel connector and stuff. So we have unplugged the fuel rail. So there's some leakage of the petroleum. To clip the overflow hose. So now we're ready to pull the pin out and then take out the tank. So we unscrew this bolt all the way. Take it out. So the tank is out. In order to access to the spark plug, we realized there's this plastic cover. It's actually made out from a tire inner tube. The owner who does this is pretty smart. They use this to cover up the top the engine, so to prevent water from seeping into the ignition coil. Good move, good move. These are the injectors. We will unplug all these clips and then we will pull out the injector. We took out the screw, so now we should be able to pull out the coil. So make sure you don't break it, slowly feather it out. Okay, so we managed to pull out the first one. So we will do to all the 4 before we can extract out all the spark plug. So now we drop in this spark plug removal device into the plug. Okay, it shouldn't be too hard. Clean out the spark plug. And then we gotta measure the gap and see whether it's within specs. The specification for the spark plug is between 0.8 to 0.9, so you use a feeler gauge to trial an error. Okay, as you can see, the 0.75 can pass through fairly easily. Okay, we feel some friction, so it's now 0.85. Okay, so this is 0.9. We will try a 0.9 and see whether it passes through. No, it doesn't, so it's a 0.85, so it's within spec. At the same time, we just inspect the coil and see if there's any crack or any sort. Okay, all looks good, so we are installing back. So now we can confirm that the air filter is washable and also the spark plug is in working order. So next thing, we gotta wash the spark plug and then maybe clean up the fuel injector, the throttle body, because we see some gum there and some carbon, and then probably just tidy up the internal and then fix everything back. And alright guys, thank you for watching this video. See you on the next one. Bye bye.